Well, what do you reckon of all this then?
Well, it's all very good.
It was nice of you to come into Green Assembly earlier on and join us for coffee and toast and whatnot. Yeah. But you're actually here.
We are.
Now, let me just quickly introduce you in case you didn't get the intros. This is Richard Darbyshire. They are, of course, living in a box all together.
We are, in fact, living in a box.
Right. Over here we have Tich. Do I have to call you Tich, or is it Anthony?
Well, most people know me by Tich. I think you ought to stick to it.
Tich Critchlow. It's a great name. Tich Tox, your old clocks.
That's right, yeah, I used to make clocks when I was a couple of years younger.
Wonderful. And I think I've actually got one of those clocks at home. I couldn't quite put that in my case this morning.
I hope it's still going.
Yes, it is. And Marcus Vere here. You don't have a funny name that we should know you by.
Nope,
Plain
just Marcus.
Marcus. Well, I know there are lots of questions that people are waiting to ask you on the phones. But before we go to the phones, can I just show some photographs here? Well, in magazines, in all the sort of pop magazines, you will have seen some very beautiful photographs of these fellas, because they photograph well. You know, they're good-looking chaps.
Nice.
Well, I managed to snap these guys. We were all lucky enough last May to be at the rock festival in Montreux, and these chaps were playing there very successily. And here are the most unflattering pictures you've ever seen. Now, can you see?
You could have extracted
this. Look, that's a good picture, isn't it? Here we are. That's one of Tich looking tired.
You could have made some money out of blackmail after that.
Yes, I could have done it. And here's one. Now, this is Marcus. This is possibly the worst photograph I've ever seen of you.
Oh. That's really horrible.
Why are you doing this?
But the worst
please.
The worst thing is, Richard, that the one I took of you, because I did take one of you.
Oh, no.
Well, it was so horrendous. It was just a complete and utter blob.
Oh, no.
It didn't even come out. But I'm sorry about that. And as you can see,
Never
it
mind,
is
at
my
least I've not been
photography,
publicly embarrassed
not
today.
these chaps. They were not going to publicly embarrass you, unless, of course, the phones don't work.
No, right, let's have a look, shall we?
Hello. Anybody on the line waiting to ask a question? We have... Kirsten!
Hello.
You're our very first person on Going Live to phone in to us, and you've managed to get through. Many congratulations. You deserve some sort of a prize for that, I think. Kirsten, you have a question for the boys for Living in a Box.
Which member of Living in a Box chose the name?
That's me, I'm afraid, Kirsten. It was after a friend of mine who lives in Sheffield in a bit of a sad state in a not very well renovated house, and we just sort of called ourselves after that.
Because he lived in a box, you see, it was like he was living in a box.
That's it.
Although his house wasn't made out of cardboard, but he was in a really rotten state, and the song was called Living in a Box as well, all about him.
That answers your question now. Thanks a lot, Kirsten. Well done for getting through. Well done.
Can I have your...
Well, actually, Kirsten, I've got a bit of a secret to tell you later on about autographs, but I can't tell anybody else now. I'll tell you later on if you're watching. I won't tell them, Philip. We've got a bit of a secret for you later on, so wait for that. Now we have Sian on line 2.
Hello?
Sian, you got through. Hello, where are you calling from?
Wolverhampton.
From Wolverhampton. What's your question?
Why is Tich called Tich?
Well,
Stand up, Tich.
No,
You can see he's really short, isn't he?
yeah, fortunately, I've put it on a few inches. But when I was younger, a lot of Anthony's around where I used to live, and I was the Tich of the block, and so it's a bit of a drummer's name as well. You know, Cosy and Ginger and Butch and stuff like that. So it just stuck really as a drummer's name.
Could you say hello to Kerry, to my sister?
Hello, Kerry. Hello, Kerry.
Hello.
Thanks a lot, Sian. Claire on line 3.
Right.
Hello, Claire Moore. What's your question?
Richard, what was your favourite lesson when you were at school?
My favourite lesson when I was at school, I think it's probably art, actually. And I used to like reading books. I liked English very much, but my worst was definitely maths. So never ask me questions about adding anything up.
You, in fact, were at school in all sorts of different places,
Yeah, that's
weren't you?
right,
Because
yeah.
most people go from baby school to junior school you know, to secondary school and then whatever. But you've been at school all over the world.
Oh, all
haven't
over
you?
the place, yes. I've been school in Reading, Manchester,
Yes,
Tokyo, in fact, yes.
Well, that was a bit of a move, wasn't it, between Manchester and Tokyo?
Move, yes.
Why was that?
My mum and dad used to have a job out there. So I worked out there for a bit, taught English, believe it or not, while I was at school, all very impressive.
Good Lord, a teacher. You ought to be good at English then, hasn't he, really?
Lost my job very quickly, so we won't mention that.
We've got Emma on line 4. Thanks for your call, Claire. Emma, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to Going Live. What's your call?
When did you and your band first meet?
Well, I met Tich about 3 years ago, didn't I?
That's right.
And,
we were up in Sheffield, and
Just play along with them a bit.
Just sit down there. Just take the next to those two horrible
We're
balls.
having to humour them and just be very kind to them.
we fell over each other in a recording studio, a little 8-track demo in Sheffield, and Richard was working up there at the same time, and we just collaborated from there on Living in a Box.
Yep, we all met up in Sheffield 2 years ago now.
It must be quite difficult putting together, though, if they'd already known each other as mates and they'd written music and then you came along. Did you just meld straight in, or does it take a while to get a sort of corporate style together?
It was actually quite easy because the first thing that happened was that I had a track which was Living in a Box, and they said, "Do you fancy singing on this?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And it was actually, it took us about 3 minutes to get the group together because it was like we all loved the same sort of music. So.
Do you think it was perhaps
great.
fate? Do you think it was meant to happen? Do you believe in that sort of
Well,
thing?
sometimes you tend to think so. I mean, we were really lucky, really lucky to get together and get what we got out of it.
I mean, we could have hated each other, couldn't we? We
could.
So,
Yes.
so we were
I'll see
quite
you
lucky there.
afterwards.
See you later.
Hi, me old.
That's what I call a comprehensive answer there. Who's next? Joanne, are you there?
Yes.
Good
hello.
morning, Joanne. Nice to talk to you. What's your question?
When did you first get started?
Well, we've all been playing music quite a long time. We met, as I've just said, a couple of years ago, but I've been playing music for about 5 or 6 years now. So it's quite a long process, really, but it's really over just the last year that we've been putting records out and obviously been successful. So comparatively short process for the group, really.
Short process, and within a short time you've become remarkably successful.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking on the phone for the moment.
No, thank you.
And I know that you're going to actually do your number. Do your number
That's
in a bit.
right.
So
Bit
the
it for you.
story goes. I hope
That's
it
it.
does as well as Scales of Justice and Living in a Box. But you very kindly brought some prezzies in.
We did
Some
indeed.
prizes, and here they are.
Here we are.
We've got personal stereo with some cassettes that are going to be story cassettes. Get it? For So the Story Goes.
Very good,
A little tenuous
very
link
good.
there.
Nice.
We've got a limited edition, I understand.
Oh, these are
These are
fabulous.
actually a limited edition. Will you explain what that means exactly?
You've got the first
Yes.
6, haven't you, I think?
Incorporated
Yeah.
in these, you get a cassette package of the new single and three
We'll give you one that hasn't been opened.
Three
by the
signed
way.
photos of the band and some little curious badges in there. So it's
Curious
rather-
badges and some good photographs, not
See,
like
it's
the
a
ones
nice
that I
photo.
take. I'll
Not
tell you
nice
what, you
photos.
can't just have these for nothing. You have to work hard for these, and I'm going to give you a question in a minute while you go and set up on the
Okay,
stage.
okay.
We've got Tessa over there.
Yeah.
You singer up there. Hello, Tessa. See you
Come
later.
on,
We'll
love.
have a natter in
Come
a
on,
minute.
it's our time to perform now.
It's time for you to go to work while I just get the question sorted out. Now, So the Story Goes is the new single. We've got stories as a cassette, so we had to think of a question which had the word story in it. So this is it. How many stories are there, as in floors, how many stories are there above ground level in London's National Westminster Tower block? Bit of research involved there. How many stories are there above ground level in London's National Westminster Tower block? Answers on a postcard, please, to Going Live, BBC Television, London...